Are you the kind of person that travels from one end of the country on a regular basis and requires a car that is not only stylish but reliable and has the capacity to take 5 people in comfort? This car can do exactly that, and it's cheap to run. The Audi A6 C5 Avant, PD 130. That's this. You also may not be the kind of person that will put up with some pointless, narcissistic sales patter and just want me to crack on and tell you what the price is and what's wrong with it. Okay, I'll do that. If you're new to the channel, and you may well be, you won't know this car, and you won't know its story. You won't know how I acquired it with a swap, and then swapped it, and then swapped it back. And this is in fact the 3rd time I have owned this particular car, and it is way too good to sell. But the fact is, I don't need it. But then I also don't need this beard either. Better. The 1.9 PD engine is as smooth as it ever was. It pulls with eagerness, it doesn't smoke, it doesn't do anything that you wouldn't want a nice car to do. These engines can have a reputation for problems, but only if the owner happens to do some rather foolish things, like remapping, like farting around with the injectors. Follow the great list of things you can do to the PD engine to make it go faster. Will actually make it go faster, but it will make it live shorter. I shall talk about the cosmetics of this car in a while. But for anyone watching this really that may be interested in the car, they're going to be more interested, I presume, in the fact that it works properly, which is strange because you already know it does. It's going to do, isn't it? Because the C5 was the last of the properly made Audis, made for people who appreciate that understated German build quality that German cars used to be known for, and now they're not. This is an excellent car. If only I needed to keep it, I would. That's obvious. I wish I needed to keep it, but I don't. Now I could go to the great effort of cleaning this car out inside and out properly to show it in its rather marvellous metallic blue gleaming black leather wonderfulness. But I've got loads of videos on this, and really the one you need to look at if you want to appreciate this car is the A6 versus V70 video. That's been very popular. I can't really cover all that again. I don't want to bore people with the same old stuff, so just go and watch that if you haven't seen it. But let's just say the boot is massive and the rear leg room is huge. Now this car drives absolutely fantastically. There isn't a better car that you could jump in and just go from here to Scotland and then down to Cornwall and back, and then decide that you want to go a bit further, go through the Channel Tunnel and find yourself in Bulgaria. It will do it with safety. It will do it with panache, and it will do it at about 58 miles per gallon if you're careful. If you arrive at your car and decide that you want all of the windows open, all you got to do is press the unlock button and hold. The windows all go down by themselves. It's not important. Why should that be important? I don't know. You may be really impressed by that kind of thing, and so I may as well put it in there. One of its little foibles though is when you do unlock it, the hazard lights come on and stay on until you switch them off. If you was buying a brand new car and it did that, you would be in your rights to complain. But it's not brand new, it's 20 years old, and I'm not going to fix it because I don't know what it is. I don't know what causes that. And for the price I'm asking for it, you won't be complaining anyway. Simple, really. If I go to the ignition barrel, we can find the key slots nicely in there. This car has a really rather interesting and good feature, and that is this. It has an ignition barrel and a key, and what you have to do is you put this key into the ignition barrel and turn it, and that switches the engine on, which is brilliant because you don't lose the key whilst you're in the car. And it switches on. We have the less than vulnerable 5-speed box, which is smooth. We have a cup holder, which works, but you might, when it's hot, you might need to encourage it to pop out a bit further. We also have the most banging stereo ever.
Granted.
Yeah, isn't that loud?
They are, as I say, friendly and
friendly.
underworked.
This car has done approximately 250,000 of the Chancellor's kilometres. But this German car was built for Britain, and that's why it's right-hand drive. And that's also why the odometer reads in miles. 173,000 of them, which isn't really that much when you consider how much further this car will go. If looked after, this will double that. This will treble that. This will outlive almost any car you can buy now on the roads. And that's why you're watching this, with a vague interest in what an investment a car like this would be, even if you don't particularly need it yourself. But the fact that you could take this car and you could just keep it. It could be your backup car. It could be a car that you use for taking stuff to the tip. That is up to you. But rest assured, if you want a reliable car, a car that will be reliable not only this week, but next week, and even next month, and beyond that into a decade or two away, this is the car to have. If you want some more niggles about this car, fair enough. I'll give them to you. Why not? The headlamps need polishing, but I don't know why I'm pointing that out, because by the time I put this car up for sale, I'll have polished them myself. Got a scratch down the side, and somebody's put a sticker on the back that doesn't want to come off. It's going rusty in the place that they all do. And that's because VW Audi decided it would be a great idea to have a dirt trap just there, and that causes the wing to rot. Good tyre. The other side of the car, we're going to find another one. Look, there we go. Some corrosion coming through. It's unfortunate, but VW Audi decided it'd be a really good idea to invest in a dirt trap which makes the wing go rusty. Good tyre. I've had a lot of use out of this car, and I'm reluctantly letting it go because it's so good. This is the only car you'll ever need, unless you want a tow bar, because this doesn't have one. And I do want a tow bar. And in all honesty, I prefer the Volvo, and I've made a video about that, which I've already mentioned in this video. That's why I'm not going to mention it again. Or more niggles if you like. It's a bit stone chippy round the front. Come on. Oh, and also, headlining saggy. Common problem with these. Common problem indeed. But you either live with it or get it mended. This car has air conditioning, and it works. The only trouble is, the pulley's a bit noisy. And the pulley I acquired to fix it with, unfortunately, isn't quite the right one. So you can either get a new pulley or live without aircon. Let's face it, won't be that long before you won't need it anyway. Mind you, I don't need this moustache, but I've still got it. That's better. Never buy a car off a man who takes his t-shirt off in a video. That's how easy selling this Audi should be. No need to advertise it. Just start making a video and then it goes. But that's not really what's happened. There we have it. You can own this Audi that I'm not driving currently for the sum of £1,295. But that's the price it's going to go up for. You can have it for less. And depending on who you are and how much of a favour I owe you will obviously reflect that price quite significantly. So there are a few people that can have this car at a very, very tempting price. But you're going to have to figure out for yourself whether you're one of those people or not. One thing you will know for definite is whether you want it. Perhaps I can tempt you with the Volvo instead. I'll tempt you, but you know, you're not having it. This is my car. I'm keeping this one. So thank you very much for watching. This is the sales pitch on Alexander Audi, who may well go for the last time this time, or who may well not. That would be a record to own it for the 4th time. That'd be certainly quite interesting. Finally, Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being a channel member. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for liking the video. Thank you very much for watching it all the way to the end. And thank you very much indeed for leaving a comment or for. Bye. Bye. To show it in its rather marvellous. Shut up! Is press the unlock button. All you've got to do is press the unlock button. All you've got to do